Tucson, Arizona. This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 146. How are you all doing out there in TV La La Land? I am so happy to be here. This is episode 146, so it looks like it's going to be the last one of 2005. Before I go any further, I want to be able to thank Marty, my editor, and T-Triple-C for making the show possible, and you, the viewers, for making Call Me Crazy one of the best top-ranked shows in the country. Now I'm just playing here in town. But Christmas is coming up in a couple weeks, and New Year, so I just want to be able to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all you people out there in La La Land. Hopefully 2006 should be a kick-ass year. Hopefully there'll be some good news ahead for all of us in the country. We all know what's going on in the country with war and natural disasters. But like I said, hopefully you have a great Christmas and a great New Year. So here we go. Okay, first thing first, Saddam Hussein was back in court today. Like usual, he was saying he's innocent of all the charges against him, which pretty much is war crimes against humanity. But since he has so many, they're trying to narrow it down to one single charge of where he killed 150 people in the village for retaliation for an assassination attempt on Saddam Hussein's life. But anyways, in court, him and 7 other co-defendants were very, what's the word I'm looking for? They were convinced that they are in the right. People in the court were pretty much angry and mad. And also, a couple other things, I also found out that some of the officials in the court have been assassinated. So that's a lot of tension going on with the trial of Saddam Hussein. And he's also saying that he's being mistreated, I think. That's not the way we see it. Hopefully he's facing the death penalty, Saddam Hussein is. So we'll find out maybe next year if he is found guilty, which he should be found guilty, if he'll face a firing squad. And you know, I say do it now, just save everybody the trouble. You know, we all know what what he has done to the Iraqi people for the past 30 years in Iraq, and we all know that he's an evil man up there with Adolf Hitler and some other dictators. But it gets sad to know that the people in Iraq gotta reopen old wounds every time they see Saddam Hussein and the courtroom, because we all know he was responsible for the disappearance of a lot of Iraqi men and pretty much a lot of Iraqi members of different families. I think it's several 100,000 were missing and reported executed. So he has a reason why he did that, but apparently there's no good reason for the rest of the world. So a lot of those families in Iraq, they have lost a lot of loved ones. So, you know, get to see Saddam Hussein back on the screen in their home country, it gets enough to make some of those people go crazy. Also in Iraq, there's no let up on the insurgency. They're still doing a roadside bomb. They're still going at it with the Marines and the armed forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. Right now, the total of U.S. death casualties for the soldiers, 2,100 so far over, and I think it's 16,000 wounded. The loss of life and limb in Iraq is staggering, considering the fact that we really don't know what we're doing over there. The Bush administration said a couple days ago that there might be a timetable on pulling out the U.S. soldiers out of Iraq, or pretty much downsizing or shrinking whatever soldier we have in Iraq by next year, meaning that he might be doing a little withdrawal bit by bit. But he said that all depends on how the ground war is going on in Baghdad and all the other small villages and cities in Iraq. The pressure is on George Bush now, the president, because now the poll, the popularity polls around the country are showing that his approval rating is down to like 37%, which is pretty bad. I think one of the worst numbers I think ever for popularity for a president. There's a lot of people in this country who are really asking for the government to just say, you know what, let's get out of there, let's get focused on other things, Sure, we'll help them out, but, they don't want us there. It's a very tricky subject, and I know a lot of people who have loved ones over there, and I do have a friend of mine who's over there. So, God bless all you guys. Hopefully you guys all had a great, happy Thanksgiving. And I want to tell all the armed forces out and overseas, all over the world, thank you so much for all your work all year long, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and hopefully you guys will be all safe, and God bless. And this is for all the armed services members. Okay, also, I also wanted to talk about, finally the price of gas has gone down. I remember a couple months ago it was like $2.89, $2.91. Now I'm driving around and I noticed it was $2.23, $2.21, which is a godsend because, a lot of people are struggling there trying to fill up the tank of gas on, spending $80, $90 a week on gas, which is kind of ridiculous. George W. Bush a while back said, if you don't need to use the gas in the car, don't use it. How are we supposed to get around? I wonder how long has it been since President George W. Bush has pumped his own gas? Probably never. Okay, what else I want to talk about? Those people up in Louisiana and the Mississippi area, there's several 100,000 people. I think 200,000 people are still left homeless after the Hurricane Katrina hit in August, late August. Excuse me. And in FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, they're saying they don't have enough funds to keep those families who are homeless to be around, to be put up in pretty much hotels and motels. They run out of money to pay for that. And they don't have enough trailers also for the family. So it's a pretty bad situation over there. So you people out there in TV La La Land right now who think we have problems, and I know we all have problems just like anybody else, but just consider the fact that we're lucky that we're inside of a nice, cozy home, or whatever house you're in, an apartment or a condo, knowing that you're nice and safe watching the show right now, knowing that there's no raging waters outside your door that's going to knock the life out of you and your family, and get know that the temperature ain't going to affect you as much as the people who are homeless in the Mississippi area and pretty much all over the world. So you know what, we should be all grateful, and I'm pretty sure all the viewers of Common Crazy are pretty grateful for what they have in their life. So we'll all have a good karma by just be thinking positive thoughts. Okay, what else am I going to talk about? Okay, so it's the end of the year, so I've been thinking about what's been my favorite movies of the year so far. I'm really into this movie by Rob Zombie that came out this summer called The Devil's Rejects. Awesome movie. I highly recommend it. Not for kids, but if you can, try to get the unrated version. They have them at all the stores, or several stores that they'll have them, Blockbusters included. But get the unrated version of The Devil's Reject by Rob Zombie. It's the sequel to a movie he made called House of a Thousand Corpses. Great movie, awesome cast. It's one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And what I also liked about The Devil's Rejects was that I liked the soundtrack. And check out the ending on that, people. The ending on that movie is awesome. Alrighty, on the subject of movie, Narnia, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion and the Witch, and the Wardrobe premieres pretty soon in 2 weeks. I'm not really familiar with the story. I remember reading one story when I was maybe 12, 13, and I do remember seeing a cartoon bit in the early 80s, late 70s, I think. But other than that, I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of curious to see if it's going to work well. We all know that the medieval fantasy movie is up in ratings thanks to Lord of the Rings, and of course Harry Potter. The Chronicles of Narnia, it's going to be several movies just like the Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. So we'll see how that goes. On the subject of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, the guy who wrote the story, he was best friends with J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote Lord of the Rings. And I'm pretty sure I read this somewhere, and I'm pretty sure it's true, that C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien were the first people to read each other's story in the whole world. Imagine that you're the first person to read The Lord of the Rings ever, and you're C.S. Lewis, and then you're the first person to ever read Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia, and you're a J.R.R. Tolkien author of Lord of the Rings. Okay, on the subject of Lord of the Rings, Time Magazine reader, we all know what Time Magazine is. It's one of the most influential publication ever, periodical. But Time Magazine reader, the reader of Time Magazine said the Lord of the Rings book is third place among the world's best 100 best novels. I didn't get the first one, but I did get the third one. The third one was Lord of the Rings. Good choice. Love those books. I think I'll read them again next month. Okay. Back to movies. We got Narnia out of the way. Okay, I'm really looking forward to Peter Jackson's new movie, King Kong, starring Naomi Watts and Adrian... I forgot homeboy's name. Can you believe that? Came out and Son of Sam won an Academy Award. Adrian Brody, that's what it is. And Jack Black did a movie called King Kong by Peter Jackson. Supposedly 3 hours long, $200 million budget. I've seen several previews of it, and it's a retelling of the King Kong story, and it's set back in the early 30s, just as the original was back in 1933. It looked cool, but I have to watch it. There's a lot of hype. A lot of people are saying it should be up for Oscar nomination. I don't know. I would rather wait to see the movie before I make my decisions. But Peter Jackson is a great movie director. You all know he made Lord of the Rings. But don't forget, he also made the excellent Frightener, which I thought was a great movie. And then he made the instant classic movie called Dead Alive back in early 90s, back Dead Alive. And if you haven't seen that, check it out. It's a great movie. It's one of the early movies made by Peter Jackson. Okay, and two more things before I'm out of here. I just read this today. A 15-year-old girl who had a peanut allergy. Apparently, she kissed her boyfriend on the lips, and the boyfriend apparently ate a peanut butter snack. And during the kiss between the 15-year-old girl and the 17-year-old boy who ate the peanut butter snack, the girl got an allergic reaction from the peanut butter that was on the boy's lip, and she died. So just be careful with peanut butter. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is in Bosnia. We all remember in Bosnia, Bill Clinton went to war over there, did an attack back in 1999 in Kosovo. But we all know that all have their problems in Bosnia, pretty much a religious war. I think it's the Muslim versus the Christian, or I'm not really sure, but it's two different factions of religion. But I'm almost positive it's Muslim versus Christian. But you know, they can never agree on anything. And guess what? They were able to agree on after years and years and years and years of fighting and atrocity and brutal killing and rapes. The people of Bosnia were able to decide on a statue. And guess who the statue is a monument to? You'll never guess, people. Bruce Lee. That's right, people. In the country of Bosnia, there's so much political turmoil and a lot of episodes of death happening. They can never agree on anything because they all want to have their own rules. But last week they were able to agree on a golden statue of Bruce Lee as a tribute to the great martial arts action star. Can you believe that in Bosnia? They don't agree on anything, but they have a statue of Bruce Lee. Hey, at least they were able to agree on something, and what's better than to agree on that Bruce Lee was the greatest action star of all time? I think. Okay, people, but this is it. I think this is the last one for the year, episode 146. It's been great talking to you guys. Like I said, hopefully you guys all have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I'll see you next year. Take care, guys. And peace be with all. And hopefully we'll all have a good year next year, man. Latest. What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is Call Me Crazy. This is the last episode of the year 2005. Hard to believe that the year gets about over. We have less than 3 weeks, or a little more than 3 weeks before 06 comes into the picture. But hopefully all you people out there in La La Land are having a good time. Hopefully 06 will be a good year for you guys. I do want to give out some prayers and shout out to the armed forces people in Iraq and Afghanistan and overseas who are doing their tough job, doing what they have to do, protecting our freedoms and whatnot. What else do I want to say is a lot of things been going on in my life, so I've been kind of, what's the word, preoccupied. But for sure, I know I say this at the end of every year, I always say this, I know, but next year will be a good year. I guess I'm slacking, people. I'm slacking very bad. But that's okay, because it's the end of the year and the holidays and everybody gets kind of in a weird mood or a joyous mood. It depends on your situation. But what I read in the news lately was that George W. Bush is still president. But okay, people, I guess this is it. The last show of the year. I can talk about 2 things I found out. In Tucson, I read that there's a new disease going around, and it's a flesh-eating disease. And what I read is that maybe 100 people in town have it. Well, I'm not really sure what the numbers are. I didn't research it because I didn't have time today. But there's a flesh-eating disease in Tucson. I think it's like less than 100 people have it. But what people don't fail to realize that when they have it, it normally starts off like a pimple anywhere in your body, and then it goes on to a rash. And the only thing that can save you from the flesh-eating disease is surgery and hospitalization. So it's a very serious thing. I wish I would have read more about it, but like I said, I couldn't get my periodicals in time for me to do the show today. And I'm rambling. What else? I had nothing else to say, guys. It's been a weird year. 05 will be. It's like, what can I say? The year 2005 was a year like 2001 or 1993. But anyways, 06 is coming around the corner. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and everything else in between. It's just been a rough year, folks. But anyway, hope you guys have a good, safe holidays this season, and I'll see you next year, I guess, right? Next year, I'll be seeing you guys next year. And you know what? I think for the last 80 episodes, it's been trying to be the comeback episode, but you know, one day the comeback episode will be the Revenge of the Sith of all the Call Me Crazy shows. You know, it gets a matter of time and money and pretty much resources and conflicting schedules. And oh yeah, and of course, you know, the only 2 good things that came out of 2005 for me that I find that I'm still grateful for, and the year 2005 is my partner, my what's the word? Oh, but anyway, no, I get playing. But my girlfriend, you know, who I absolutely adore, she's the only good thing that came out of 05. And the second thing that came out of 05, that's the only good thing, was the premiere of Heading Down, of the movie that Marty and Clifton Campbell made, starring yours truly. But it's going to be coming out with the Call Me Crazy show. This you'll be seeing the movie Heading Down. It'll be playing on the Call Me Crazy show after this episode airs, the one you're currently watching. So after this, what you're watching, Heading Down will be playing, I think, for 2 weeks. Give it away. Take 4 showings of Heading Down. But it's a great movie. I played Jerry. Need I say more? We pumped his mother out, and we'll pump it out some more after you guys see it for 4 more times. But either way, 05 was a weird year. Like I said, my girlfriend and the movie was the only thing that kept me going. And a lot of people say, well, don't the show keep you going? Honestly, not really. Because I'm a busy guy. It gets, I'm going through the David Chappelle thing right now, folks. I'm having doubts about the direction the show's going. I'm surrounded by people who are more into my money. Yeah, right. But no, Call Me Crazy, I get the feeling it's still going to be on for another 8 years. Let it be 1 minute a week for the next 20 years. But at least it's footage. But no, people, but thank you guys for watching Call Me Crazy. But Heading Down, the movie will be airing pretty soon. And what else do I want to say is USA rocks, Star Wars rocks, Jeff Gordon rocks, and Audio Slave rocks, and Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison, and Kurt, and Bruce, and Bill. And I'm not talking about Bill. I'm talking Bill. That's the Bill I'm talking about. Not the guy who used to Bill Gates. Later, guys.